Hello, I'm Dr. Geoffrey, crisis and split-second decisions expert as well as an ER doctor. Too late for slow change. It's time for quick action. What I'm going to present to you today is information that's already available, and it's been available for a while. But for many different reasons, it's slow to be concisely presented to our fellow Americans. By the way, I am a board certified ER doctor. I say that till I say that my benchmark for what I present to you will be from peer-reviewed academic journals, the CDC, Dr. Fauci, the WHO are listserv that I'm on with physicians. While these three vitamins that I'm about to present to you, there may be more, but these come from evidence-based, peer-reviewed article. And yes, this is a repeat. If you've heard this in the past, then it's the same information except presented more concisely. What I'm doing here is I'm helping to fill a leadership gap during a crisis. We're in a crisis. There's a leadership gap. Given that I am a decisions and crisis expert, I'm filling that gap. And I would encourage all of you all to listen to this, share this with your family, because the numbers I am going to present to you would make you say, why don't I already know this? Let's just jump right to it. And by the way, attached to this is a bit.ly, something is a address. Cut and paste and put it in your web browser. You'll have access to all the information that I am giving you and the dosages. And also, just as an administrative note, nothing I say should be taken as medical advice. It's just for information purposes only. Nothing I say should be taken for medical advice. It's just for informational purposes only. And I would and talk to your primary care doctor. So there are three vitamins that have been shown to be preventive against COVID, and they're used for treatment. Let's just go with vitamin D. Vitamin D. Yes, 80% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. Yes, 80% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. The way that vitamin D works, just cutting right to the chase, it helps regulate the immune response. It helps regulate the immune response. The way that, on a very broad level, the way that COVID works, it takes over our immune system and causes an overreaction. Vitamin D helps regulate that. So imagine if you're vitamin D deficient, then there's no regulator, and you have an overreaction, an uncontrolled overreaction of your immune response. And the data supports that. Let's just say that in an Indonesia study, 98% of those who were vitamin D deficient died, whereas only 41% of those who were vitamin D deficient passed away. That was just one study. Another study showed that people who are vitamin D insufficient, they are 7.6 times more likely to contract COVID. Vitamin D deficient people were up to 10 to 12 times more likely to contract COVID. Enough with the technical talk. The preventive recommended dose of vitamin D is 1,000 units to 3,000 units per day. It comes in micrograms as well. I would encourage you to convert it if you buy it in micrograms. But it comes in the recommended dose of vitamin D is 1,000, 3,000 units per day. By the way, Dr. Fauci takes 6,000 units per day. Real quick, the darker you are, the more likely you are to be vitamin D deficient. Why? Because most of our vitamin D is converted from the sunlight, and therefore you're less efficient because of the melanin of converting vitamin D. Also, the elderly of any color, they're more likely to be vitamin D because of the skin changes that they go through as a result of getting older, and therefore they're less efficient at converting vitamin D. The treatment dose for vitamin D. So if you're home, you're being treated, you're like COVID positive and you're treating yourself at home, the recommended dose of vitamin D is 2,000 to 4,000 units per day. 2,000 to 4,000 units per day. That's vitamin D. Let's go to the next one. Zinc. Yes, zinc. Zinc has been shown, having low zinc levels has been associated with 2 times greater mortality. Up to 40% of Americans are zinc deficient, with the elderly being overly represented. 70% of zinc deficient patients who became COVID positive develop complications. What does zinc do? It slows viral replication and it lowers inflammation. So the higher the zinc levels, the less inflammation. The lower the zinc levels, the more inflammation. People with low levels of zinc are 2.3 times more likely of dying in the hospital. 2.3 times more likely of dying in the hospital. The preventive dose of zinc, again, talk to your primary care doctor, is 30 to 50 milligrams. 30 to 50 milligrams per day of zinc. Now, if you're home treating for zinc, if you're home treating because you're COVID positive, the treatment dose is zinc 75 milligrams to 100 milligrams per day. 75 milligrams to 100 milligrams per day. And the next one is melatonin. Melatonin. Even prior to COVID, the academic peer-reviewed studies already show that it has an antiviral effect. It helps fight virus. It was proven it's been proven in viral hepatitis, viral myocarditis, Ebola. So there was already some history of knowing that melatonin helps with that. The prophylactic dose or the preventive dose of melatonin is, oh, by the way, melatonin has been shown to decrease in-hospital death up to 3 times. Up to 3 times. It has also been shown to prevent those people who are taking melatonin with 30% less likely to even contract COVID. 30% less likely to even contract COVID. The dosages are for the prevention, melatonin 0.3 milligrams to 2 milligrams, 0.3 milligrams to 2 milligrams. And the treatment doses, melatonin 6 to 10 milligrams, 6 to 10 milligrams at night. Let's go back to the preventive dose for melatonin. It's 0.3 to 2 milligrams at night for the preventive. For the treatment, it's melatonin 6 to 10 milligrams at night. Yes, this is a repeat. Here's why. There are some questions about this. People, it was better to make it more clear and concise. And I was concerned that there were a number of people who've reached out as it relates to the first one, and they were slightly confused, and they were not sure where to get all this information. Again, I've attached a bit.ly here. A bit.ly is you can take it to your website. I mean, you can copy and paste it, put it in your search bar. It's going to ask for your email, and then most of this information is there. Oh, and by the way, if you've already if you've already gotten a download, shoot me an email at info@splitseconddecisions.com. info@splitseconddecisions.com. We will have to manually send you one. Everybody, look, this is about saving lives. This is about crisis and leadership. This is what I do. Prior to COVID, I went around the world. I taught executives, their teams, first responders, how to manage crisis, how to make split-second decisions, as well as leadership development. I'm not an infectious disease doctor. I'm not an epidemiologist. I am an ER doctor stepping in to fill this void, because the amount of hurt and loss and pain that we are experiencing while everything is like transitioning, we have to slow this down. This is a time for as a country for us to all come together. Why? Tears taste salty. Tears taste salty. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race or religion. All of us are at risk for COVID. And it's a very good chance, given how widespread it has gotten, that many of us may get COVID, or someone that we know. I would encourage you to download the toolkit, become super users, share this information with other people, where it's all about saving lives. Again, Dr. Geoffrey, your split-second and crisis expert. Be careful and be safe.